Hi BookTube, my name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I am coming to you with my February 2021 wrap-up and stats video. So a little bit delayed on this one. It's already like the 10th of March, the day that I'm filming and that this is going to be posted. So I do apologize for that, but that's okay. Let's jump into everything that I have to talk about right now. So I do like going through all of my stats. I love stats for this for my reading and stuff like that. I just find it so very interesting to look at things like this. And then I will go through all the books that I read this month in order of rating from least favorite to most favorite. I'm not going to talk a lot about what all the books are about and my thoughts on them because I talked about them all during the month of February. So yeah, but I am definitely going to be sharing with you my rankings on them. So I have everything here on my laptop in front of me, so let's get started. So I read 14 books in the month of February. That's not too bad considering towards the end of the month I fell into a little bit of a reading slump. But yeah, I still consider it overall to be a good month. 12 of those 14 books were brand new books, like new to me books, and 2 of them were rereads. So that's interesting. For my Goodreads goal, as of the 1st of March, I was 5 books ahead of schedule. I have read 29 out of the 150 books that I gave myself as a goal for the month or for the year of 2021. So I'm at 19% of that goal completed. So for star ratings, I had 3 3-star books, 2 3.5-star books, 7 4-star reads, 1 4.5-star book, and 1 5-star read. Not too shabby. It was my first 5-star of the year. So my average star rating for the month was 3.82, and that's up a bit from January, which was 3.73. So that's not too bad. In terms of the genres that I read 8 contemporary romance, 2 romantic suspense, 2 YA contemporary, 1 middle grade, and a paranormal romance. 33% of the books that I read were category romance, so Harlequins essentially. I do like keeping track of that stat because I find it fun. I've got such a huge collection of category romance and I'm trying to work my way through them, so to be able to keep track of how many of them I read every month is a lot of fun. So I read 2 intrigue novels and 1 Harlequin special edition novel. As for audience, in terms of age, I read 10 books geared towards an adult audience, 3 YA, and 1 middle grade. From when the books were published, I read 1 book published in the 1990s, 7 published in the 2010s, 5 of them were published in 2020, and 1 was published this year in 2021. In terms of how I read the books, 8 of them were ebooks, 4 audiobooks, 2 graphic novels. So that was kind of a fun breakdown. I mean, for me, that's quite low for audiobooks. So yay. I mean, not that my goal is to read less, but I don't want to rely as heavily on audiobooks. So it definitely looks like we are going in that direction. In terms of novel length, I read 12 full-length novels and 2 graphic trade novels. For series, I read 12 books that were part of a series and 2 of the books were standalone. Of those 12 books that were part of a series, 6 of them were a new series that I started. It's pretty normal for me. 5 of them were part of series I was already reading, ongoing series. And for 1, I completed a series, and that was the Bollywood series by Sonalia Dev. I finished the 2nd book because I read I read the 3rd book because that series I read completely out of order, but I have now completed it and read all the books. So that's super exciting to see. For page count, I read I read 3,759 pages in the month of February. Works out to approximately 269 pages per day. That is not too shabby at all. So just a little bit of fun random information. The highest rated book on Goodreads, from all the books that I read, I like checking this. So the highest rated book on Goodreads was Pursuit of the Truth by Katie Richards. It has an average star rating of 4.42 stars. The lowest rated book on Goodreads was Mallory and the Ghost Cat by Ann M. Martin, coming in at 3.51 stars on Goodreads. The longest book in terms of page length was The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye, coming in at 394 pages. And the shortest book, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So 11 were full-length novels, 1 was a novella, because yes, As Kismet Would Have It by Sandy Manon came in at 53 pages. It is definitely a novella. Sorry, I don't know why I had it marked as a novel. Challenges and events. There were 2 of them this month, in February, that I participated in. As usual, I always participate in the Romance Readers Reading Group Challenge on Goodreads. They put out a new challenge every month, and it's a lot of fun. You get 10 prompts, and you need to find books to fit in those prompts, and this is now my 5th year and 2nd month that I have completed it. And fun side note, you guys, I have been asked again, because I did it once last year, but I am actually hosting the April challenge. So I will leave link to the actual that challenge, the monthly challenge board. Right now, March is up. If you're interested in participating, it's not too late to jump in. But I will be hosting for April, so if you want to jump in for that, I will talk about that again probably in my April TBR video. Also this month was a big event, or also in February, a big event, the Black Author Readathon, which was hosted by a bunch of different booktubers and some bookstagrammers. Most notably to me would be Steph over at Steph's Romance Book Talk, and of course Brie over at Falling for Romance on Instagram. And it was essentially, they did have a bingo board and things like that. I didn't do the bingo board per se, but I just challenged myself to read as many authors of color as I could in the month of February. And I didn't do too badly. So 71% of what I read was authors of color. 10 out of the 14 books that I read. So I'll consider that to be a win. Like I said, there was a bingo board with challenges and prompts and stuff like that. And it really did look like a lot of fun. But I kind of jumped in at the last minute. But I still really had a great time participating. And it was really, really fun to read all of the books that I read. So let's get into my ratings for the month. So I'm not going to be flashing pictures up here. I have them on my tablet. So we will start off at the bottom. As Drake would say. I don't know. I don't listen to Drake. I'm pretty sure that's a meme, though. So that's the only thing that I know about him, really. And that he lives in Toronto somewhere. Anyway, doesn't matter. So starting off at the bottom is As Kismet Would Have It by Sandy Manon. I gave this one 3 stars. This was a little novella. I think I mentioned when I read it, I didn't really see the point in it. It was just kind of a extension, like a little bit of a longer epilogue to the first book, When Dimple Met Rishi. So, you know, I mean, if you're a fan of the series, go ahead and pick it up. But if not, you're really not missing much. It doesn't really add too much to the story. Let's put it that way. Next up, we have Mallory and the Ghost Cat by Ann M. Martin. This one I also gave 3 stars to, the 3rd mystery in the Babysitters Club series. Mallory was never really my favorite babysitter. So, you know, and this one was okay. It wasn't much of a mystery. Not really paranormal either with the ghost cat, but it was a fun read. The next one I have here is The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. I also gave this one 3 stars. I talk about this a lot in a review. I had some issues with the main characters. I had some issues. I loved the first half of this book, but the second half just really fell off the rails for me. And I just couldn't get into it anymore. And I just didn't care about the characters anymore. It seemed to be all about the extracurricular activities, if you will. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So yeah, not a favorite. Just 3 stars on that one. Next up, we have The Chai Factor by Farah Heron. This is a local Canadian author. She's actually, I think she lives in Toronto, and this book takes place in Toronto. I gave this one 3.5 stars. So I did enjoy it. It was interesting about a East Indian girl and a Caucasian male. And he is from like what we would consider to be like up north. Like I know the area that he's from. It's very rural. It's small town Canada, kind of an idea, farming communities, and she's from the city, so you know that whole kind of opposites attract thing. It was a hate to love romance, but I liked it, but I didn't love it, unfortunately. But it was still a really it was an enjoyable enough read. And if you come across it and you want to read it, I recommend that you give it a try. But it wasn't absolutely spectacular. Let's put it that way. Next up, I finished The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye. I also gave this one 3.5 stars. This one, I enjoyed it, but I just felt like their entire relationship was based again off of a physical attraction type of thing. I want more emotion, more of an emotional relationship. I guess that's more what I'm looking for lately in my books. And I mean, this one was fun and flirty and did deal with some very, very serious topics in terms of workplace sexual harassment, along with injuries, sports injuries, specifically football and concussions and things like that. So it delved into some deeper topics, but it still had this overall lightness to it. But yeah, again, just like The Chai Factor, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And, you know, I think a lot of people have read this one now. It's been out for a while. So I do plan on continuing on with the series. I do really enjoy Alicia Rye's writing, and this one just wasn't a favorite of hers for me. Next up, I read Heart of Evil by Heather Graham, the second book in the Crew of Hunters series. I love this series so much. You guys know this. I am doing a reread of the series, and surprisingly in March I'm not reading one of these, but I will be probably picking another one up in April, the third book. And yeah, this is a really fun series about a group of paranormal FBI agents, think the X-Files, but as I like to say, with ghosts and not with aliens. But it's a really fun series and I like it a lot. Next up, we have The Boyfriend Project by Farah Roshan. This one I gave 4 stars to. I enjoyed this one as well. It's again it's a workplace romance for sure. But he is holding something back from her that you find out as the reader, but she doesn't know until much later. So, you know, that whole kind of the trope of if you were just honest with each other, things would have been a lot different, but he has reasons why he can't divulge what's going on. So it's kind of a whole bunch of stuff going on, but my favorite part about this whole book is the relationship between, oh my God, Samaya, I think is her first name, her and her 2 friends, Taylor and London. Their relationship, like the friendship, the female friendship is just an absolute delight. And my tablet's running out of juice. And I really, really love it. And I'm looking forward to reading the next 2 books just because I want to read more about Taylor and London. Next up, I have Giant Days Volume 8. I read 2 Giant Days volumes at the end of the month. So I'm not going to talk a lot about these because they are volumes like 8 and 9 in the series. I read both of those. Really enjoyed both of them. I gave them both 4 stars. It's a really fun graphic novel series about 3 friends in uni, and at the point that I'm at now, they're in their 2nd year. So the series is coming to an end. I think I'm more than halfway through it at this point, so I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but it's been a really fun read, and I'm kind of spacing them out a bit as much as I can because I would just sit and marathon the whole series in this format. But I'm trying to space it out so I can enjoy it a bit longer. Next up, we have A Winning Season by Rochelle Allers. I really enjoyed this one. It's about a former MLB player, baseball, who kind of retires from the game and he moves back to his small town in West Virginia. And it's the relationship between him and the woman who lives next door. And it's really, really cute. She's a single mother to her 2 younger brothers, but they're not really young. Like the one's already graduated high school and the other one is like a year away from graduating, but he's kind of having some issues, and our male lead takes him under his wing in a way too. So really good. I enjoyed this one a great deal. It is actually the last in the Wickham Falls Wedding series, but it's the first one that I have read. So I'm really looking forward to getting back and reading all the rest of the books in this series. Next, we have a Harlequin intrigue novel, High Priority Asset by Juno Rushdan. I really liked this one, about a woman who owns an art gallery, and she's being targeted by someone in the mafia, and he is kind of sent to watch over her, but she doesn't know that he's like an agent. So a little bit of subterfuge there, but really good story. I like this one a great deal, and I gave this one 4 stars. This was a 4-star read as well. Next up, this one was really good, guys. A Change of Heart by Sonelia Dev. I gave this one 4 stars as well. This is the 3rd book in the Bollywood series, but the final book that I read in the series. So there are 4 in total. You really need to read books 3 and 4 back to back. Not back to back, like you don't have to read them one after another. But I absolutely recommend that you read this one first and then number 4. I did it the other way around, and I really didn't miss too much, but you're kind of spoiled a bit for what happens in this book. And this book, it's a light, pretty cover, but it deals with black market organ transplant. So yeah, That's a thing. You wouldn't think by looking at this cover that that's what it's about, but it is. And this is a redone cover. They've done new covers for this series. The original cover really didn't give that much away either for what the actual plot was about. But this one was really, really good. Highly enjoyable. I listened to it on audio and the narration is fantastic. Coming in second place, if you will, we have Second Chance on Cypress Lane by Reese Ryan. This is a second chance romance that I really enjoyed about a woman who loses her job at a TV station due to, again, she was dating a coworker and something happened, and she got let go, and now she's back in her small town, this coastal South Carolina beachside community, and she runs into her ex-boyfriend. And the relationship goes from there, and it was absolutely delightful, and I really, really enjoyed it. This is the first in a series. I cannot remember the name of the series. I want to say it's called Holly Grove or something like that, but I do plan on definitely continuing on with this series when the next ones are released. And coming in the first spot, my favorite book of the month, guys, I love this one. My first 5-star read of 2021 was Pursuit of the Truth by Katie Richards. This is another Harlequin intrigue novel. This one is by a local Toronto author. She is an absolute delight. I follow her on Instagram and I've had a chat with her. But yeah, this book was really, really good about a woman who is having all these bad things happen to her. Like, first they start off as being like very small annoyances, like her car is keyed and, you know, someone lets the air out of her tires, and then it gets to be a little bit more dangerous where someone pushes her in front of a moving vehicle and things like that, and her brother is missing, and her brother is dead as far as she knows, but then these things start to come out that maybe he's actually still alive, and there's some stuff going on with some bad guys. Oh, it was really good. The action starts on this one, like right on page 1 almost. And the relationship between her and this guy, Ryan, I think his name is Ryan West. This is the first book in the West Investigation series, is really, really good. He is protecting her, but they're also falling for each other. Oh, it was so, so good, you guys. I highly, highly recommend that you give this one a read. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below, how did your February go? How did your reading month go for February? And have you read any of the books that I just shared with you or that I read in February? And what did you think about them? And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.